Hello. Thank you for joining us today on the Profit Scale Thrive podcast, where we guide attorneys to overflowing profits, scaled growth, and thriving lives. I am your host, Kelly Brubaker. We have a secret though. This is a special place because we don't work with every law firm owner. We support the solo attorneys who are also single parents because we know the special challenges you face, and we know the business advice out there is not always practical for you and your firm. Each week, we will talk about things that will give you the insight you need to stop feeling overwhelmed, to gain back your confidence, and to finally enjoy your law firm and your life again. Hello, and thanks for joining me today for podcast episode number 7. Welcome back, or for those who don't know me yet, my name is Kelly Brubaker. I'm a CPA and a business coach who supports solo attorneys who are single parents. I'm also a certified Profit First professional, which means I help my clients implement the cash management system presented in the book Profit First, written by Mike Michalowicz. A few weeks ago, I began a dedicated series of podcasts to share with you in detail, chapter by chapter, the book Profit First. So if you've read the book, please follow along as I will share tips along the way. If you've not read the book, but you're curious about it, please stick around as we go through chapter by chapter. This week, we're talking about Chapter 3, Setting Up Profit First for Your Business. Mike starts this chapter by describing how his mother used the envelope system to manage her paycheck for paying household bills. For anyone who is unaware of the envelope system, which is also called cash stuffing, it is a way to budget money using different envelopes to store your money. You will have one envelope for each spending area for your household. For example, a mortgage envelope, groceries envelope, clothes, car payment, utilities, etc. When you get paid, the idea with the envelope system is to cash your check and then allocate your actual cash between the envelopes. How the money is divided is based on your predetermined budget. When you're ready to spend on a specific category, for example, groceries, you grab your groceries envelope and head to the store. And then this shopping trip is limited based on the amount of money currently held in the groceries envelope. This method forces you to spend within your budget. So let's see how we can apply this to your business. The default cash management system for most businesses is what Mike calls bank balance accounting, meaning you log into your bank account online, check your available balance, and then make money decisions based on the account balance you see. And for every business that does this, bank balance accounting is an accountant warning the business not to do it that way, that you need to look at your bookkeeping system. So your bookkeeping system, which many businesses use QuickBooks, contains a complete and accurate, up-to-date listing of all transactions for your bank account, regardless if those transactions have cleared your bank or not. And I'm sure at this point you're shaking your head and you're saying, but I don't know where to find the information you're telling me, or I hired a bookkeeper so I don't have to look at my books. And this, my friends, is why bank balance accounting exists. It's the easiest and most familiar way for most business owners to keep a finger on the pulse of their business, financially speaking. And believe me, I'm a CPA and I don't like to look at my books daily or weekly either. All of this is to explain Mike's driving force behind writing Profit First. Bank balance accounting is a habit that you will harness to continue to run your business, but with some changes that will create a situation where bank balance accounting will begin to provide you with meaningful information. How? By opening multiple bank accounts. Each single bank account will represent an envelope in the envelope or cash stuffing system. Each account will have a specific purpose and contain your budgeted money for that purpose. So the 5 foundational accounts. Last week, your action item was to open one new bank account called Profit and to begin depositing 1% of your incoming money to that account. Now we're going to open the remaining accounts needed to run Profit First in your business. First is income. Second is profit. Third is owner's comp. Fourth is tax. And fifth is OpEx, which is the abbreviation for operational expenses. All of these bank accounts should be checking accounts in the business name. They're not personal accounts. Once opened, I like to rename or nickname the accounts to make it easier for me to manage. And I number them, or I like to rename them 1-income, the bank name, and the last 4 digits. So I bank at Relay. So it would, for me, my account number would be 1-income Relay 1234. And then it would be 2-profit Relay 4567, and etc. Keep going. Your original bank account should now be used for your OPEX account because you most likely have a lot of bills already being automatically paid from this account. You should have substantially less sources of deposits to update. So once opened, go back to what your original account is that we've now repurposed to be your OPEX account. Review the history for that account to identify all sources of deposits. Check deposits are easy to change. Just use the correct deposit slip going forward. But for each electronic deposit, identify the source and then update it to the new income account number. This usually takes about a half hour, maybe an hour at the most, but it's so worth doing. Okay, now we need 2 more accounts, and these are called the 2 no temptation accounts. Now that we have our 5 foundational accounts, we set up the 2 additional accounts, and the reason for these accounts is to get certain money out of sight so it's out of mind. These 2 no temptation accounts will be the long-term storage place for your profit and tax money. I know it sounds redundant to have 2 additional accounts that are already part of the original 5 foundational accounts, but again, it's about the impact of out of sight, out of mind. When something is not available for you to consume, you don't consume it. It's that simple. Mike recommends going to a new bank that you've never had an account opened at before and open the 2 new business savings accounts. Or personally, I recommend money market accounts, depending on the interest rates, monthly fees, minimum balance requirements. These accounts will be renamed or nicknamed Profit Hold and Tax Hold. Personally, I recommend opening these at a credit union because oftentimes your local credit union has the lowest fees and pay the highest interest rates. It's not always true, but I do find this to be commonplace. You will have a total of 7 business accounts, 5 checking accounts at your primary bank, and 2 savings accounts at your no temptation bank. The advantage to having these 7 accounts is twofold. First, transfers between 2 different banks are not instantaneous. It can take a few days or longer, and weekends and holidays add more time to transfer money. If you log into your main account before the transfers to the hold accounts are completed, it will appear as if the money is still available. And the second advantage is the goal with Profit First is to give you instant and accurate knowledge of where your cash stands. Transfers between accounts at the same bank usually happen in real time. So moving your profit and tax money to your designated accounts at the same time as your owner's comp and OPEX allocations, you will instantly see where your money stands. Your money will be on the correct plate at your primary bank so that you can initiate the transfer to the 2 no temptation banks. So picking your bank. Your primary goal is convenience for your 5 main checking accounts and inconvenience for your 2 savings accounts. I always chuckle at the story Mike shares about his longtime friend Peter, who opened his 2 new no temptation accounts at a new bank. The branch manager was excited and shared the wonderful and convenient ways to Peter how he would be able to access his money. And Peter's response? I don't want any of that. I'm seeking the most inconvenient options you have. In fact, the only way I want to withdraw money from this bank is if I visit a branch and ask you to write out a certified bank check to me. And when that day comes, just to make sure that I am using it for the right reason, I want you to slap me in the face a few times when I ask you to write the check. And as someone who's worked in a bank before, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall at that meeting. And Mike mentions that this reminds him of a scene from Young Frankenstein.
Love is the only thing that can save this poor creature. And I am going to convince him that he is loved, even at the cost of my own life. No matter what you hear in there, no matter how cruelly I beg you, no matter how terribly I may scream, do not open this door or you will undo everything I've worked for. Do you understand? Do not open this door.
Yes, Doctor.
Nice working with you.
Let me out. Let me out of here. Get me the hell out of here.
What's the matter with you people? I was joking! Don't you know a joke when you hear one? Jesus Christ, get me out of here! Open this goddamn door, I'll kick your rotten heads in! Mommy! Nine!
If your bank has reasonable minimum balance requirements and no monthly fees on checking accounts, then you're good to go. But some banks require a large minimum balance or have a large monthly fee per account, and that's no bueno. Keep in mind that banks exist to serve you. If your bank does not serve your needs, it's time to move on. My top recommendation is moving to Relay. Check out my podcast number 4 for information about Relay, or you can see a list of other Profit First friendly banks in a link that I will provide within the show notes. If you have been following along with the last few podcasts, by now you've taken 3 steps towards a profitable business. First, you emailed your commitment to me. Second, you set up one Profit First account. And third, you transferred 1% of your money to your new profit account. You have the momentum. Now it's time to kick Profit First into gear and experience this simple yet powerful transformation for yourself. It's amazing to watch your profit and your business grow day by day, deposit by deposit. Don't stop now. Take action. So here are your action steps. First step, set up the 5 foundational accounts: income, profit, owner's comp, tax, and OPEX. If you're staying at your current bank, keep your existing account as your OPEX account. These accounts should be business checking accounts. And if your current bank has unfavorable fees or minimum balance requirements, negotiate the fees and requirements with the bank manager. And if unsuccessful, find a new bank. Step 2, set up 2 hold accounts at an inconvenient bank, your profit hold and your tax hold. These accounts should be business savings accounts or business money market accounts, depending on the interest rates your bank offers. Link these 2 hold accounts to your primary bank so money can be sent from your primary profit and tax accounts to your profit and tax hold accounts as you do your allocations. Step 3, do not enable any of the convenience options for your 2 hold accounts. You do not need or want these accounts to be accessible online, and you do not want ATM or debit cards for these accounts. You just want to deposit money into these hold accounts and forget about it for now. And now it's time for our listener's question of the week. And the same as last week, instead of a listener's question today, there's a side note in Chapter 3 of Profit First that's something I would like to address here because I feel many people will have these same 2 questions. And these are the 2 most frequently asked questions when Mike speaks about Profit First at conferences, on webinars, and at lectures. First question, I haven't ever been profitable in the past, so how can I take my profit now? And Mike has a great response to this question. People have difficulty accepting the notion that they can start taking profits right away because it seems like some kind of woo-woo accounting trickery. It's not. In fact, it's regular accounting that employs the trickery. By taking profit first, you're fundamentally changing the way you run your business. When I hear this question, I always explain Parkinson's law. You spend every penny you have available and stretch every dollar in the lean times to keep your business moving forward. I'm simply asking you to remove the profit and operate on less. You've done this already and you found a way. There is a saying, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't change the way you take your profit, you will never take a profit. And the second question, can't I just do this on a spreadsheet or in my accounting system? Why do I need to do this at the bank? And Mike's response, I answer this question by asking a question. How has that served you so far? Aren't you already following your cash flow every day on a spreadsheet? Are you not checking your accounting system daily, reviewing the numbers? No? Exactly. So setting up profit first in your accounting system is only a slight modification over something you are supposedly doing already and failing at. No matter what those spreadsheets or monthly reports say, your current bank balance is always going to be a stronger determination of your behavior. The reason you must set up profit first accounts at the bank is because it's the only way to insert the system into your normal path of behavior. By setting it up at your bank, you cannot miss your allocations when you log into your bank. If you would like to submit a question for a future episode, please send an email to podcast@profitscalethrive.com. And no, by sending an email, you will not be added to an email distribution list. There will not be a phone call, and there will not be a sales pitch. We follow the golden rule, treat others how you wish to be treated. Today's quote is from Jim Fortin. Nothing has any meaning except for the meaning I give it. Final thoughts for today. I hope you're enjoying this approach to the book Profit First. Today we talked about the bank accounts needed to implement Profit First in your business. Also, we talked about how each account is for a specific purpose comparable to the envelopes used in the envelope or cash stuffing system. And as a reminder, here are your action steps for this week. The first is to set up your 5 foundational bank accounts. This would be your income, profit, owner's comp, tax, and OPEX accounts. The second is to set up your 2 hold accounts, the profit hold and the tax hold accounts. And your third action step for this week is do not enable any of the convenience options for your 2 hold accounts. Next week, we're going to talk about how to assess the health of your firm. This is a great chapter because we will see how your business has been operating over the last 1 to 2 years and how healthy it could be with Profit First. Also, I will be sharing with you my worksheet that will let you easily compute your instant assessment. If you have any questions about today's episode, feel free to comment if you're watching on YouTube or send me an email to podcast@profitscalethrive.com. If you know someone who might need to hear this information, please share this episode with them, or if you're on YouTube, tag them below. Be sure to follow and subscribe to get notifications for future episodes. Did you enjoy this episode? Please consider leaving a review. And before I go, remember, profit is something you intentionally plan for in the beginning. It is not a potential bonus at the end of the year. Thanks and have an amazing day.